I want to start with some news from today. The White House said that they would not release doses of the AstraZeneca vaccine despite the shots not being approved for use yet here in the U.S. So can you walk me through that decision?
Yeah, they've been sort of ducking this one for days. It's been kind of weird because, some reaction is, well, of course not. We should keep it for Americans. And, which I suppose, that's a position that perhaps the previous administration would have taken, but Biden hasn't seemed to want to say anything about what he's doing. So that finally said today that, no, they're not releasing any shots. And the reason that I think this one is getting most attention is what you said. AstraZeneca has a deal with the U.S. government for 300 million doses. They've already started producing them in case they get authorization. The New York Times said that there's about 30 million doses. We actually think that's not right. We think it's a single-digit millions of doses, but, still sizable number. But they're sitting in the U.S., right, where not only are they not authorized for use, but the company hasn't sought authorization for use. And that means the earliest they could be used is several weeks down the road, likely longer. And so the Europeans have been saying, can you give us these doses that we have authorized for use and you haven't? You've got three others. And the Americans are saying no. So this, I think, is going to cause bilateral tension because Biden is going to try to have it both ways. Early in his presidency, he really, took a point of telling allies that the U.S. is sort of back on the world stage, we're reclaiming a leadership role, et cetera. But from the perspective of the shot-starved Europeans, who, by the way, are exporting to other countries as well, which the U.S. isn't known to be doing at all, it doesn't look all that different than Trump.
Quickly, Josh, I want to know one more question about this AstraZeneca shot. I know that COVAX, which is the World Health Organization's coalition of countries that work to make sure that developing nations have access to the vaccine, COVAX is saying we really want as many of these AstraZeneca shots as possible. So has the Biden administration said anything about how kind of holding on to the AstraZeneca shots impacts global inequities with access to the vaccine?
They haven't. They acknowledged today that it's a tricky balancing act. Some of the moves they have taken are going to help global production down the road. For instance, they announced this month that they're doubling J&J's capacity. Once the U.S. gets through its orders, that's going to help. But this pandemic is only going to end when it ends everywhere, including, every basic corner of the globe. And that's why other countries, including the EU, including France, are starting to share doses internationally as they vaccinate their own populations, whereas the U.S., of course, is saying not only that it will get enough for its own people, but well more than enough. If AstraZeneca is approved, the U.S. has enough vaccine for 650 million people, which is nearly double its population.
The biggest stories the moment they happen from around the globe. Subscribe to Bloomberg Quick Take now for insight in an instant.